When I arrived to the museum, I bought the tickets, and it was my first time at the museum. The first thing they do is guide you to the fifth floor where the exhibition begins. And the first thing you do is watch a 5-minute video where it explains what genocide is and why we need to have tolerance and why we need to look back at what happened so we can't repeat the awful history. After that, in another room, you see another video of an explanation of how Hitler created the Nazi Party and how it climbed to the top. Then there's other rooms where it shows the history of World War II, and it also shows how Hitler wanted to create a pure race. They wanted to eliminate the inferior races like disabled people, black people, homosexuals, and also intellectuals because they deform the mind. And something that really captures my attention was exhibition where they sterilize physical and mental disabled people. It said it was a program where they sterilized between 250 and 3,000 people. Also, something that really took my breath away was the tools they used to measure parts of the body because, as I mentioned before, the Nazis looked for a perfect race. And for example, they had these tools that measured your nose, and if it wasn't the right measurements, they will not take you as part of them. Also, Nazis believed that the inferior race were the cause of the nation problem. And after that, in another room, you can see a railway carriage from Polonia where thousands of people traveled to the concentration camps. And you can walk inside it, and when I walked through it, it gave me a really sad feeling. Just imagine the people that were in that railway carriage and how they were scared to go to the concentration camps. And also after that, there's another room that shows how concentration camps were administrated and how you can identify the people that were on it. For example, you can watch this picture where you can see a black triangle over a white triangle, and the black triangle is facing down, and that's how you can identify a Jew that commit crimes or that they are prostitutes or that they are homosexuals. Also, there's a board that shows how they identify the people on the concentration camps. And after that, there's also a room that shows the Auschwitz concentration camp that was the worst. And also they show like how they killed people. And after that room, it ends the World War II, and then you walk to another room where it talks about the genocide from Rwanda. That was a conflict between two groups, Hutus and Tutsis, and it started with a Belgian colony that invaded Rwanda in 1923. And this Belgian colony invaded the Tutsis, and it divided the population by racial measurements. Belgians said that Tutsis were the superior race and that they were the Europeans beneath a black skin, and that's how it created the rage between these groups. Then there's other rooms that talk about the genocide in Serbia and Croatia, and also the conflict in Guatemala. After these rooms, there's like a mid room where you can see crystals hanging from the room. That's called Lamento by John Hendricks, and it's a memorial for the killed children on the genocides. After that, you go into another room. When you first enter, you see a bunch of large screens that shows the culture from all around the world, and in this room they talk about discrimination and tolerance and how we need to accept people by who they are and how they look, and we don't need to judge them. And after that, there's another room that talks about fake news, and there was an example of Trump because he creates a lot of fake news. And also, there's another room where it shows medium statues from people that spread peace and fight for it. For example, Martin Luther King and Gandhi. And that's where the exhibition ended, and it was a really amazing experience because you realize how awful the world can be, and how we need to make a change, and how we need to spread love and don't judge by looks, and we need to change how today we see the world. And yeah, that was an amazing experience.